Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of AI and Oats, which is my daily show where I answer questions about AI and comment on some AI news articles. But very quickly, who am I? Well, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome even more. In all likelihood, you are new, so I'll give you a quick explainer of who I am. Basically, this is my YouTube channel where I teach Claude Code and Codex for knowledge work and business use cases. My name's Alistair, but I also run an AI consulting and training business called Docs, and if you'd be interested, if you're a business owner or a business executive, if you'd be interested in us working with you to help you see how you could implement AI effectively to grow your business, feel free to get in touch through the link in the description. And I also have a school community which is linked in the description too, and there I go into even more detail about the actual skills and systems I use within Claude Code and Codex. So now that the preliminaries are out of the way, let's get into the questions. Basically, the way this works is during the day I have Codex kind of scrape the web and search different forums and Reddit threads and that sort of thing, and collate interesting questions and news articles about AI, put them into this slide deck, and then I come and answer them. Alright, so is there a way to facilitate inter-agent session communication in Codex? I have started using this in Claude Code, and it's made running sessions in sequence against issue waves simple. Yes, there is. So I think this is a very new feature in Claude Code as well, where sessions can actually message each other. I just noticed it, I think it's only a few updates ago. I noticed Claude did it last night when I was doing something. It wasn't perfect when Claude did it last night because it sent the message to the wrong session, which, wasn't amazing, but, it shows you that proof of concept is getting there. A while ago there was a thing like, an MCP or a plugin you could get for Claude Code where sessions would communicate with each other. I can't remember what it was called, like teammates or something, but I didn't use it that much. It wasn't super useful. It felt a bit gimmicky. Maybe I was just misusing it, but this one that is now a native Claude Code feature seems like it will have a lot of potential, and this is something I had actually noticed even earlier in Codex than I did in Claude Code, so yeah, you can definitely do it there. Codex can just directly message into another session. Equally, another simple way to do it is like you can always just get a handoff prompt if you want to start a new session, you want to clear it, but you want it to give a continuation sort of summary. You just get a handoff prompt, or get it to save a handoff prompt as a markdown file, and then you just do a simple thing, say go look at this handoff prompt.md. Similarly, like with handoff prompts in Claude Code, there's a feature called chips, I think they called it, where you can just say to Claude, like, start a chip for this. Or sometimes Claude will proactively suggest a chip, and it will pop up in like the top corner of your session, and it will say, like, do you want to start this locally in a work tree, whatever, and it will do that sort of thing. So that is sort of a form of inter-session communication, but that's not exactly this feature, and this feature definitely exists in Claude Code now, and it does exist in Codex too. I feel like, yeah, Codex, you can get one Codex chat to message into another session. I notice also happens quite often. That's kind of what the voice, if you use Codex voice mode as well, I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing, is it can go and interject into various threads and obviously kind of steer them that way, whereas you're just orchestrating it at sort of a level once removed from that. So yes, fundamentally, to answer the question, this feature is possible if that is the kind of thing it means by inter-agent session communication. Compared to Claude, how much does Codex hallucinate? I don't know the absolute metrics. I know that Opus 5, I think, had a pretty high... I know for Opus 5, when it came out, the hallucination rate actually went up on that compared to 4.8. So, yeah, I don't know the exact stats. I assume it varies slightly as well, from like GPT 5.6 Sol to Terra to Luna. When it comes to hallucination, my advice is, like, obviously, hallucination is not entirely unavoidable. And, weird things can happen sometimes in the filing system. Like, I've had it once before. I think it was Claude Code, but it might have been Codex. I, created a demo for, demoing how a skill would work. And I think it was a theoretical client and showing you how you could use Claude Code, to, do client work. But this was made up client. And Claude Code was the one who actually made the demo, but then later just sort of didn't realise it was a demo and decided that it would be a good proactive task, to create a proposal to do more work for this imaginary client. So I then had to tell it, no, And also I've had it get confused when like when working with companies that have the name of a person as their company name. Even if there's a known person associated with that company, Claude Code, and I don't know if Codex has had this same issue, kind of thinks that the company's name is the person's name, like that it is a real person even though it's the company name. But I guess what I'm getting at here is that that's more a symptom of the fact that at some point kind of slipped through the cracks and ended up filed away somewhere. And so I say, when it comes to fighting hallucination and that sort of thing, hallucination is pretty, like, it's pretty good now in the sense that the hallucinations are not terrible, certainly compared to what they used to be. And I feel like the best way to mitigate it is with a good filing system. I don't think it comes down so much to like whether you're using Claude Code versus Codex for it, in my opinion. You know, if misinformation has ended up in your context environment, your folder, that is going to kind of pollute the rest of it, and therefore the kind of cleaner, more maintained, better, richer you keep your context, the more accurate output you're going to get, and the diminished hallucinations you're going to get, or the fewer hallucinated ideas. That's my anecdotal experience, at least. So that's what I'd say for that one. Claude Haiku is my current least favourite model, fair enough. It hallucinates wildly and is outperformed now by other similarly priced models like GPT 5.6 Luna. Even worse, it seems to. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess that's a fair enough take that Haiku is probably the worst model amongst Frontier Labs at the moment. I think especially since Luna did that like thing where, well, I guess it was Sol improved the code for all of them, including Luna, and therefore made Luna cheaper and perhaps more intelligent as well, or certainly at the same price. Then yeah, I guess Haiku probably is the worst model because, you know, but why? I don't know. I don't know why you'd be using Haiku excessively, to be honest. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, I think Sonnet is absolutely sufficient for many tasks. Opus 5 going to give you plenty of intelligence, so is Opus 4a for pretty much anything most normal people are going to want to do, especially knowledge work. Fable 5 is obviously going to be like a kind of luxury level of intelligence, probably far more. You're probably never going to push the boundary of the intelligence of Fable 5, really. If you're just doing kind of normal business and knowledge work, you'd have to be doing, I don't know, like proper mathematical research or scientific research or like that sort of thing. But I wouldn't really suggest that you should be using Haiku as like a daily driver. I mean, maybe I'm wildly wrong there, but I would say, you know, and I'd probably make the same argument with Luna. I think maybe you can get away with using Luna a little bit more. But Haiku is really just sort of like I think of it as like a sub-agent model. You know, I'd never choose to use Haiku, but there are times when all I need a sub-agent to do is summarize a piece of text or something within a larger kind of piece of work that the, you know, Claude Code is orchestrating. And then, yeah, sure, it's going to choose to use Haiku, and I think that's fine. But yeah, no, I think it's a fair enough take that Haiku might be the worst model amongst the Frontier Labs at the moment. But also that's kind of fine because you're probably not going to be using it for anything massively challenging, or at least you shouldn't be. Is there any workaround to solve the Claude Code memory issue? I'm running it on a 256GB M1 Mac, and it's pretty hard to code. It uses up all the RAM and storage. Yeah, I've had a similar issue recently. My issue was kind of around Claude kept creating like safety snapshots before it did any work of my like files, which would be, I don't know, a couple of gigabytes at a time, but it was doing this, or maybe it wasn't even that much, yeah, maybe it was, but like doing this loads of times a day, kind of. And so I was accumulating loads and loads of, like, I was just losing all the storage on my Mac, and then I was having issues with it trying to like sync folders to iCloud as well, and then it was making my Mac so slow, like super slow as well. And Codex was still kind of working, but Claude Code was just unusable for a few days, kind of this time last week. The solution I found was to upgrade my operating system on the Mac, and then delete lots of the snapshots like I did that with Codex, making sure that they were all safe and that sort of thing, because they were just mostly duplicates. So delete some of the safety snapshots. Then I was having a kind of issue with like whether local, I don't know what the technical thing for it is, but like I guess it's like a GitHub work tree snapshot or something like that, where that was stored locally, because it was storing some of those locally, and that was causing it confusion, basically because they had ended up in an iCloud folder, and so that was like having trouble syncing. I still haven't fixed that all the way. I might have fixed it now, but still working on fixing that. But certainly I've now found that Claude Code is back to being usable again. I think the main thing for me was probably upgrading the operating system helped, and then just cleaning up. I probably got rid of like hundreds of gigabytes of I think it was over 100 gigabytes of just these snapshots they had made. I mean, luckily I have like a terabyte of storage on my Mac, so it hadn't filled it up all the way, but it was getting there. So yeah, that's what I found was, yeah, upgrade. But what I did, I guess fundamentally the best way I found to solve it was working with Codex and Claude Code a little bit as well. But I was just saying to Codex, like, Claude Code is being super slow, can you help me work out why? Then sometimes it would even use computer use and go into Claude Code, like look at the settings, try to run tests in Claude Code itself. So that was the best thing I found, is like have Codex help you fix your issues on your computer with Claude Code, or vice versa. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Little bit of a shorter episode, didn't go into all the questions necessarily, but hopefully there was some useful information there. If there was, and you enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. Equally, I'll just mention it again to, self-promote, but if you are interested in working with me directly, whether that's helping you build out your own AI operating system, or if you run a business, seeing where AI can fit effectively into your business, or if you'd be interested in joining our school community, the links for all of those things will be in the description. But that will be it for today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.